Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. I want to ask you a question. Is marriage harder than singleness? Is being married harder to do than being single? Please comment about this. I was personally single until I was 53. Now that's about 30 years longer than I wanted to wait, but I survived. I struggled, I got through it, and I persisted, and now I've been married for about 7.5 years, marrying a wife overseas. So I'm a big fan of online dating. Just you have to be careful of some things, and I certainly want to help people with that here on Love Beyond the Sea, and I would appreciate subscribing to this channel, relationship help, especially with being married to a woman from the Philippines. Now, when I was single, up until 53, I was lonely. I was sexually frustrated and, lacked companionship. I mean, I guess that's kind of part of being lonely, but it's different. I just needed somebody just to experience things with, like I've been doing with, since I've been married, traveling a lot more when I wouldn't have before being single. And there have been some adventures, and I really appreciate that part of being married because, when you're married, you need to do some things that your spouse wants to do. Excuse me. And for my wife, that was traveling. But, when I was single, it was just, I felt it was hard. I didn't think marriage was a walk in the park, but I knew that being single was tough for me. Again, please comment on, is marriage harder than being single? Is single harder than being married? I didn't necessarily feel like I was free. I certainly lacked some purpose. So for me, this was just something I endured pretty much every day. Now, 1 Corinthians 7:28, though, in the Bible says that those that marry will find trouble in the flesh. Trouble in the flesh. That's just meaning that, when two sinners start to live together and they're different and different levels of maturity and experiences and so on and beliefs, well, there will be clashes. The Bible points that out as a matter of fact. It doesn't try to discourage anybody from getting married. In fact, if you need the sexual part of it, the Bible encourages people to get married, discourages them from staying single if they, need the sexual intimacy, which, is a big deal. So I wanted to know what you thought. I'll certainly, being open all the time about what I think about these things. I mean, it kind of depends how God made you. For me, although there have been, our usual trials that any married person has, I feel much better about being married, and I would not want to be single again. I like having my wife in my life. The troubles of marriage, interpersonal struggles, we all know, we've all observed or been involved in ourselves. They're different than being single. You have to get on the same page, when you're married. You have to be, as a husband anyway, a servant leader. So yeah, even if you're not getting along, you're responsible for that woman you marry and the vows that you took, and you want to love her. Love is tough because you got to do it whether you like the person or not, but you're married to that person. If you don't like your boss, you don't have to sleep with them. If you go to your spouse, that's somebody that, should be on your side and want to encourage you. But there are times, there's friction. There's friction. And before I forget, since I have a channel about the Philippines and men finding wives there. A lot of people assume that's older guys, just the old guys go there. No, younger guys, I want younger guys to consider the Philippines sooner than they are. Don't wait till you're 50 or 60 to consider another country. Consider that as a possibility when you're younger. But young people today, I fear, might tend to want to take the easy way out of things. I suppose you could say that all the time throughout history, but I just feel that there's not as much commitment to things as there used to be. Jumping ship not hanging in there, toughing it out, expectations that are false. And also, people seem to be getting more self-focused and self-centered. I hear so much these days, and continue to, about loving oneself. Well, we're not commanded to love oneself. We're commanded to love others as ourselves. The problem is, to me, we love ourselves too much and not others enough. So those things make it difficult for a young person to go into marriage rather. So it can be difficult. I just want to encourage people, if they're really struggling with being single, yet they've heard there's some difficulties about being married, that's true, but that still might be best for you. I know for me it was worth it to find love beyond the sea.